Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel, All Things Taylor, just in time for a brand new episode of Wicked Q&A Wednesday coming your way. Before we get right down to these awesome questions today, just go ahead and do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button, and do not forget to comment below this video with your questions to potentially be featured on next week's episode. And without further ado, let's get right down to it. Yay! Okay. This first question comes from my YouTube channel, and they asked me, could I ever see myself being a coach or somebody in the creative writing department for WWE? And the answer is yes, I can totally see myself doing that job. I personally feel I have a lot to offer, and this is actually a subject I just talked about on my podcast, Talks with Taeler Hendrix. So it's really kind of funny that that question came up for Q&A Wednesday. For me personally, now that I've established myself in other areas besides like in the wrestling ring, you guys have seen me write and perform my own vignettes. I am now a published author featured on Amazon and barnesandnobles.com. And I'm a podcaster now, and I've also done a lot to educate myself on budgeting, ratings, marketing, sponsorships, and also, you guys may or may not know, I used to teach public speaking and creative writing as an after-school program for 5th and 6th graders. So these are types of things that I have a lot of experience with and a lot of knowledge on, basically. And I've taken the pandemic to really kind of educate myself in a lot of different areas that I didn't previously know about, to make myself a more valuable individual in life, as well as the pro wrestling industry. And so I definitely could see myself more so in the creative process as opposed to full-on coaching, because I already think that they have a lot of coaches as it is. But I think I would be a great asset for character development, transitions from NXT to Raw and SmackDown to make those more successful, and also the budgeting factors, as well as the social media management, marketing, and how to help superstars grow in their own brand as well as within the WWE umbrella of the various brands. So yeah, I could definitely see myself doing that. Another person from my YouTube channel asked me, would I ever consider reviewing matches on my YouTube channel? We've actually talked about this prior to this episode, and the answer is yes. As soon as I figure out how to do that, I would love to share tidbits and behind the scenes little factoids of what was going on in moments during matches of mine, because I think that you guys would just be like blown away by the jokes I remember cracking in certain moments, or me playing it off as if I, meant to fall over some staging stairs and all this stuff, but I really didn't. All kinds of interesting little things. I do apologize if you hear any noise and craziness going on in the background. We got caught in a rainstorm, so my pets have been full of angst and energy, so they're kind of taking that out now because they don't like the rain. So my apologies. Another person on YouTube asked me, are there any genres in like the horror sort of section and subcategories that I think are overdone and just need to kind of end where they are? I would probably say Saw is definitely one of those. I would have to think a lot more on that one, but the first one that came to my mind was Saw. I just thought there was too many, too overdone. Okay, another person on my YouTube channel asked me that since NXT is moving towards edgier content, do I think that they'll bring back things like Bikini Contests and stuff? I hope not. I know that there's a lot of people that would love to see all of those amazing looking women in bikinis. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're fabulous and stunning and amazing. They got to where they are because of how amazing they are and their capability to be amazing in the future. So there's no shade on that. Believe me, total respect. However, I think that the bikini contests aren't necessary, in my opinion. And I don't necessarily think it would bring back the viewers that you think that it would. That era is kind of done. And in the new landscape of the world as it is today, I don't think it's needed, and I don't think it's necessarily wanted or warranted. And with that being said, they're probably not going to do a Speedo contest, so why do a bikini contest? You know what I mean? Even though they're pushing the envelope with edgier content, there's still a PG program, and there's a lot of money that pays for the the superstars that you know and love based on WWE being a PG program. You know, if you did something to make that revenue leave, you could see a lot of people potentially losing their jobs and a lot of stuff going downhill. And that's not something I want to see happen. So I hope not. And I would say no. And that's not just because I'm a woman either. I do think that it would be bad for the men as well, because it wouldn't be just women losing their jobs. It would be men too. And I think that they need to be paid more. And they also need to understand that they contribute to their pay scale and learn how to grow them as their own individual brands, as well as, like I said before, under the WWE umbrella. So I want to see more success stories, not more tragic stories, as I like to say. Okay, next question is also from YouTube, and this person asked me, what was my most nerve-wracking moment or time at OVW? And they referenced the bikini match, the bikini battle royal, and the evening gown match, and other things. I would have to say the most nerve-wracking was actually one that this person did not mention, and that was the main event match that I had for OVW TV, which aired live on Wednesday nights. And it was a 4-way women's ladder match for the OVW Women's Championship title. I was very nerve-wracked to go into that, but I played a very confident, cocky, chicken shit sort of heel. And I loved my, you know, Dark Phoenix inspired 2-piece gear. That was like the precursor to the Taeler Hendrix that I would take to my WWE tryout and that I would introduce at Ring of Honor and after Ring of Honor and stuff. So that was kind of like the beginning stages of it, which is really cool to see that evolution over a couple of years' time. I was nerve-wracked because I was the only girl in the match that was released from Impact Wrestling. And I was actually the only superstar released from Impact Wrestling that stayed at the developmental program. The others chose to leave and go on and do different things. And I stayed because I wanted to prove myself and my value and so forth. And I was also nervous because Christy Hemme was in the house, and I think, was it Don Callis or someone else representing Impact was also in the house. And so it was a really big deal. And the women had not been the main event on OVW TV at that time, since dating back to when OVW was a developmental territory. And the women's main event on OVW TV was Katie Lee Burchill versus Beth Phoenix in a ladder match for the OVW women's title. So that was a very big deal to us women. It was a very big deal. We worked super hard for that. And Al Snow gave us all these parameters and basic things that he needed to see in that match, and then it was up to us to put that together. And Hannah Blossom and myself, you know, we had a huge hand in putting that entire match together, and I was just really proud of the little nuances that I introduced into that match, like making people think that I couldn't lift the ladder even though it was light and flimsy and terrifying because it felt like it was made of scrap metal. And I knew later on in the match I would have to literally fall like 8, 9, 10 feet off of it. I wasn't sure if it would be able to hold all 4 of us women at the same time for me to do that giant fall that nobody knew I was doing except the girls in the match. So yeah, that was a very nerve-wracking time, and I actually really impressed Christy Hemme, and we had like this really long conversation after the fact and stuff, and it was really cool, but it was very nerve-wracking because I do take a lot of pride in my work and in the work that those ladies and I were doing that night to represent, you know, the progress that we had made. So I would say that was the single most nerve-wracking, because it wasn't just about insecurities with my body like you would think in, you know, in a bikini match or an evening gown match and so forth. It was more of trying to prove that I'm not just the sum of my body parts. Like I can work and I can tell a story, and I love wrestling and I love this business, and that's why I got into it. So that's why that was very nerve-wracking to do. And I love ladder matches, love them. Okay. Let me see here. What kind of YouTube channel question? What kind of YouTube videos do I enjoy watching on YouTube? I love watching stuff that educates me, pumps me up or motivates me, and also just makes me feel good. So I listen to a lot of music on YouTube. I look at what a lot of other people are doing so I can study patterns and recognition and things like that. And I also listen to a lot of motivational content from a lot of people that are more successful than I am, so I can learn from them. So I watch a lot of stuff from Kevin Hart, Steve Harvey, Gary Vee. I was introduced to Rachel Hollis on YouTube, Barbara Cochran. I listen to a lot of inspirational speeches from Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, Matthew McConaughey, a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff on YouTube. And I also love sloth videos and, you know, funny animal fail videos and things like that. So, yeah. Have I seen the new Resident Evil trailer? No, I have not, so no spoilers. Okay, another question from YouTube. Would I ever go on Dancing with the Stars? Probably not. It's not really my thing, and I can't really dance. I can swing dance, and I can slow dance, and I can do, you know, the Macarena, the electric slide, and Cotton Eye Joe. That's about it. That's about it. I will not be on Dancing with the Stars. But hey, if you can't laugh at yourself, then what are you busy doing in life, you know? What is my favorite ice cream? Oh, I would have to say vanilla with bits of cookie dough and rainbow jimmies on top. That would probably be my favorite. My second favorite would be some kind of sherbet. Would I consider being on any show remakes for TV? Absolutely. I would totally be on Angel or Buffy or a Gotham City Sirens show, or the stuff they're doing for the CW and the Marvel stuff, like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or WandaVision and What If, and all these different things. I would totally love that. Yeah. Netflix, I'm looking at you guys. Hulu, Amazon. Looking at you. Don't mind my rain hair. And last question of the day is from Twitter. Yay! Okay. They asked me, since I'm a huge fan of the show Ted Lasso, who am I most like and why? Okay, guys, I really want to be Ted Lasso, or like Ted Lasso, I should say. But if I was being honest, and I do believe in being honest, I would have to say I'm Roy Kent. Which I think is hilarious, but in real life I'm probably Roy Kent or Keeley, but probably more so Roy Kent. Thank you, Sally. You know, I'm very crass. I can be when it comes to my work, I am very serious and detail and goal oriented. I also feel like I've taken enough shizit in my lifetime that I just have no more tolerance for BS, and I call things out like I see them. But I also, you know, when somebody's good, I try to, you know, promote their goodness, you know what I mean? Like pump them up and be a team player, but also like represent like a standard. And, yeah, I definitely have like to me, pretty much every single day. So I try really hard to be Ted Lasso, but yeah, Roy Kent is my fairy godfather, I guess. All right, guys, that was your latest episode of Q&A Wednesday with yours truly, Taeler Hendrix. Make sure you comment below with your questions to potentially be featured on next week's episode or the week after, depending on how many we get. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button and tell all your friends to continue to look for my channel and subscribe so we continue to grow together. More awesome content coming your way. And thank you guys so much. Talk soon.